Mic check 1 2 1 2. Check 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 check. All right, what's going on, everybody? That image that you see on the screen right there, that picture that you're looking at, that's the picture of celebration and vindication. That's the University of Virginia Cavaliers men's basketball team celebrating the victory. They are the 2019 NCAA men's college basketball champions. Congratulations to Tony Bennett and his team for making a complete turnaround from a devastating loss a year ago that saw them making history as the first ever number 1 seed to be knocked off by a number 16 seed. And they went home a year ago earlier than they would have ever wanted to, but they turned things around. They stuck with it, and they said that they want to be here and win it again the next year, and they have done just that. There's a lot to be said about this victory. Starting off with the concept of what a team is, and that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the concept of team. Now, in this era of one and dones, this era of Zion Williamsons and guys like that, you would think it'd be easier for a team that puts together a collection of guys who are going to end up being lottery picks in the draft. You think it would be easier for them to just team up together like super friends and pull off a Final Four victory just like that. And yes, it has been done a couple of times that I can think of right off the top of my head. I can think of the Anthony Davis-led one-and-done team that won a few years ago. And I also can look back on the 2015 Duke team that won with one-and-doners Jahlil Okafor and Justice Winslow. But most of the time, one-and-doners are not going to be able to pull this off, and I'm going to tell you why. It goes back to the concept of team. There's a certain amount of continuity that you have to have as a team. And when you assemble a group of guys who are only going to be there for one season, regardless of the massive amount of talent that they bring to the table, there's one thing that's lacking. That's continuity and a couple of other things like cohesiveness and a history of going through adversity. Now, this Virginia team, look at them. They didn't have any one-and-doners. They had one guy who's probably going to make it to the NBA. That's DeAndre Hunter. Other than that, most of these guys are going to be looking for a regular 9-to-5 job, working in corporate America or somewhere like that. But here's the thing. If you look at that roster, they didn't have a bunch of super freshmen. They had 2 solid juniors, including Kyle Guy, who won the Most Outstanding Player Award for the tournament, and a couple of redshirt sophomores and redshirt juniors. Now, go back to a year ago, like I stated earlier at the beginning of this video. These guys went through a lot of adversity. They made history last year, but in a negative way, becoming the first team to ever lose, a first number 1 seed to ever lose to a number 16 seed. So they had to carry that burden with them for 12 whole months. But from what I read in some of the interviews I saw, at this time a year ago, those guys were right back in the gym, right back at practice, right back at work, because they had a vision. And that vision was to get to the level that they are now, and you see the results on the screen right there. So they went through something. When you go through things, go through adversity with people who are close to you, it creates a bonding. It creates a sense of cohesion. It creates a blood tie almost. Not in a literal sense, but in a spiritual sense. Because going through something negative shows you a lot about who you really are. It shows you a lot about the people who are around you. And these young men going through that horrible embarrassment from a year ago, it could have caused a lot of guys to separate and disappear, but it actually brought those guys together. And that's the thing that we have to realize. Now, Duke, with those one and doners like Zion Williamson, RJ Barrett, and the other kid, Reddish, at least two of those guys are going to be lottery picks, high lottery picks. And they have that tremendous amount of talent. They had enough talent to win. But outside of some AAU connections that these guys probably had when they were younger, they didn't bring together that cohesion, that unity of having gone through some stuff. I mean, this is true in relationships, friendships, working relationships as well. When you go through some tough times with people, it creates something really special. And you could take that with you into any situation moving forward. That's what team is all about. That's what the concept of team is all about. It's not about who's going to get all the praise and accolades. It's not all about who's going to get the next shoe contract. It's not all about who's going to get the most likes on social media. It's all about being together and sticking with your brothers and going through something together. And not only going through that thing, but coming out on the other side of that thing intact and as a unit. It's like the scriptures say, a threefold cord is not easily broken. And when you get a bunch of guys like this on that Virginia team, guys who only one guy is going to be eligible or even considered to be drafted into the lottery. When you get a bunch of guys like that who show that toughness and that mental acumen and that togetherness, this is what they can accomplish. And it won't even matter whether you're facing giants who are bigger than you, faster than you, stronger than you, more talented than you. When you got the chops that have come from adversity and leadership and coaching that knows what the hell they're doing, that is a formidable thing to have to deal with. And as you can see on the screen, this is the result. So that's what I want to say today about teamwork, about being a team, and how sometimes that can overcome the person that's more talented than you and all of that. So congratulations to the 2019 Virginia Cavaliers once again. And this is a lesson that we all can learn and take with us and apply to almost any area of our life. All right, that's all I got for now. Thanks for watching. Y'all be cool.